Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? This is your girl Conqueror 711 bringing you with another video today. But this time it's gonna be a little different. If y'all see the title up top, I'm gonna be talking about and giving my thoughts, my review of something that I'm so glad I watched like early in the AM, like 6 this morning. I was up watching this, and it is the TLC biopic, Crazy Sexy Cool TLC story. I'm gonna be doing stuff like this more often when it comes to doing reviews and stuff like that. But it's gonna be stuff that I watch. Probably gonna be doing some Attack on Titan stuff when this new season come back around. Soon as the PlayStation 4 hits, it's gonna be a lot of stuff different on my channel. So a lot of series is gonna come back. It's gonna be a totally different experience when it comes to my YouTube channel, and I want to start doing this more because I watch movies, like hella movies, all the time. But this was something that was very special because it was TLC, man. I mean, I don't know how many of y'all are African American, but not even African American, just musically inclined who just love freaking TLC, man. T-Boz, freaking Left Eye, and Chili, you know what I'm saying? And their lives, but basically their lives were told Monday. I didn't get to see it Monday because I was at work, but their lives was totally told through how they saw it and what a tale it was, man. Like I ain't gonna lie, I teared up at the end and stuff like that, but and a couple of times I teared up because it was just a lot, man. It was a lot of shit these girls went through that I had no idea about, and that's I like having that aspect that they talk about things that they never shared with us before, because it means that they're human and that they had to have time to heal too, so they can be able to tell their stories to other women, African American women, cultural period, that this happened to us and we don't want this to happen to you. But just in case it does happen to you, we're letting you know that you can get out of this. You know what I'm saying? You can break through all of these barriers. You can change yourself as a woman throughout the years and become stronger and become better for it. I will say this: the only gripe with the entire movie, which was like 2 hours long, give or take 2 hours, I think they didn't tell enough backstory before TLC. You really don't know what happened with Left Eye and her father. We kind of know from like the BET behind, I'm not BET, the VH1 behind the music, which was like years ago. Like they need to update their behind the music. But yeah, they need to, I think that's one update behind music should do. They need to update that. But that we don't know much about that. We only got a couple of scenes, not even a couple, just to be like maybe five minutes of the movie in. We learned about T-Boz and her mom, and we learned about Chili and her mom, and then we learned about Left Eye and her family. We really don't know much except for the little tad bits that they showed. The only mother you really see was Chili's mom. You saw Chili's mom a lot, and you saw, I mean, not a lot, but you saw her more than you saw Left Eye's mom or dad, because Left Eye's dad dies ultimately in the beginning, but we're gonna get to that. And spoiler alert, I'm gonna be talking about shit, so please don't be like, why you spoil it? Because I'm spoiling it because it's a review. I don't want to have to keep myself back because y'all ain't watched it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to hear what I gotta say, wait till you watch it and then watch my video. I want to do it now while it's fresh in my head. So, at the beginning, oh, and let me say, hands down, Little Mama, I was skeptical because of her past and what she could really do, but I'd be damned if she didn't embody Left Eye. Like that, like if you watch the scenes of them, like actually from the camera, because you know they used to walk around with a camera all the time, and sometimes I didn't know if it was real, if that was fake. You know what I'm saying? And she played the shit out of Left Eye. She played the hell out of Left Eye till the end of the movie. She embodied that damn girl. If her and Left Eye are like That shit was scary. How she looked. Only thing is, Little Mama's eyes are hazel, so they had to put contacts in. But if you look at how they did the casting of this movie, Drew Sidora was T-Boz. She was on The Game and a couple other joints. And then we all know Keke Palmer. You know what I'm saying? Keke Palmer, we all know who that is. Keke Palmer was Akilah in the Bee, True Jackson VP. What else was Keke Palmer in? She's been in a couple of things, and this is really what made me trust this casting, because when I first heard about the movie, I saw Keke Palmer. I'm like, okay, she can act. So if anything, she's gonna play the hell out of Chili. Little Mama and Drew Sidora were the only ones I was like, they look like them, but let's see if they can act like them. And they did a hell of a job. I mean, a freaking hell of a job. Little Mama, man. Little Mama killed that. VH1 did a great... And T-Boz and Chili, the real T-Boz and Chili were executive producers. They were on the set at all times, except for Lisa's funeral. That was the only thing that they said from actual interviews, that they did not want to be at. They did not want to be at the scene for Lisa's funeral because they relived it once, and they said they will never relive it again. So... and I respect them for that, because that's still something that they can't heal. Like, Left Eye is gone, and that's something that it's healed, but it's still a linger in there, because their sister is gone, not just their bandmate. That was their sister. So Keke Palmer starts off. Was it Keke Palmer? No. T-Boz starts off by basically talking over the beginning of how TLC started, and basically they started. T-Boz used to dance at Jelly Bean. She used to say she always wanted to dance like a boy. Like, she didn't want to be like, she just didn't want to be so feminine to the point where she couldn't be herself. So she was like a straight up singer dancer with the deep voice, but the voice was crazy. Her and Left Eye knew each other before they knew Chili. Left Eye came from Philly. So Left Eye is originally from Philly. And when her and her dad had their falling out and things like that, she left. Her dad was a real military guy, real on point. Like, he didn't take no crap. I think he used to beat her mom and all kinds of stuff. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I know her dad was real tough on her, and she could never just please this man. And she just had to get out of that situation, so she left. And one of their friends, I can't think of her name. It starts with a C. Wanted to start a girl group. They heard Pebbles. If you don't know who Pebbles is, she used to sing back in the day, and she was L.A. Reid's wife, and she had an imprint called Pebbletone. I think that was the name of her record label. An imprint under LaFace Records, which was what L.A. Reid owned at the time, and she was looking for new talent. So they went and tried out for the group, and Pebbles made it discreet that she only wanted T-Boz and she only wanted Chili. The other girl, she couldn't sing. I mean, and if she couldn't sing, like, I think that's how they made out. She couldn't sing really, and she couldn't really move and dance like those two. Those two was like dancing entwined, because I guess they were friends. Like, you could tell at the beginning that they were already friends. So they kicked old girl out the group, and then it goes to them finding a third person. So they found a third person, which was Chili, and her real name wasn't Chili, it was Rosanda. That's how you say her first name. Rosanda, they found her. She was dancing for Damon Dame, which was a group that was under LaFace Records. And Pebbles and the choreographer were talking one day in a choreography practice, and Chili basically went up to Pebbles and was like, "You looking for a new group? I know you know I can sing, right?" She was like, "Oh, really?" And then Chili just started bust out singing, because Chili could already dance, because she was a background choreography dancer, so she could already dance. And then Pebbles found out she could sing. Then she brought her to meet the girls. She hugged T-Boz. I mean, not T-Boz. She hugged T-Boz, and T-Boz was like, bitch, I don't know you." But Left Eye, like, open arms, like, come on, let's get it, let's go. So that was the beginning of TLC, and then they gave Chili her name because it was like she was hot like fire, you know what I'm saying? She's hot, so they call her Chili. So that's how they got their names. T-Boz already had her name, Left Eye already had her name, and then they came up with TLC as the name. And what's so funny, yo, Pebbles made them pay for each letter of their name so they get out of their contract, $1 million apiece. God damn, for a damn letter? Shit. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Like $3 million for their name. TLC. She used to own that name. She made them pay $1 million a letter to get that shit from under her contract. I was like, God damn. But hey, if you TLC, man, and you, that's you. You know what I'm saying? That's your name, might as well say. That's who you are. That's who you are in body. Pebbles started it, but she didn't make that group, I don't think. But they start off learning the dances and recording music, and they came up with they finally met what's his name, Dallas Austin, who was played by Diana Ross's son. I forgot how you say his name. It's Diana Ross's son. It's the light skin one that played in ATL, the older movie with T.I. So basically, they meet up, and T-Boz already knew Dallas Austin because they grew up together. And then you know how that goes. One girl in the group is gonna fall in love, and she fell in love with Dallas. And the same day that they got signed and everything like that, they was doing real good. And she saw Chili kind of being flirtatious with Dallas and stuff like that, and she seen her and Dallas kissing in the studio, and she cut her, and she was like, "You're out of the group. I don't want you here," and this and the other. And I thought that was real bogus. Then Pebbles made them sign contracts and stuff like that. They were only getting paid $25 a week. That was their stipend. Everything else they made went to the record label. When it came to video shoots, touring, I think they only made 8 cents out of everything that they made, which was ridiculous. Like, they got screwed. Pebbles sometimes would dock their pay, told them don't talk to Chili, made them they couldn't eat, like all kinds of weird shit. Like, Pebbles was like, they made her seem like she was just bad. She did some good things for, like T-Boz said in the Breakfast Club interview, she did some good things for them, but overall she was just a bad seed. She wanted control of everything. When they started wanting to look at their books and stuff because they weren't making no money, she was like, "What, you don't trust me?" I'm like, "Hell no, I don't trust your motherfucking ass. Not with no money. I ain't got no car. I'm in the same situation I was in before when I was broke. So that means we may be selling all these albums and your motherfucking ass ain't paying me? The fuck?" But they finally released no. Before all that happened, when she got kicked out, Chili got kicked out of the group. This is a spoiler alert. This is something I did not know. She had a baby before she had another one. No, so she had a baby and got pregnant. And it was either she had 3 dreams. She wanted to sing, dance, and she wanted to be a mother all of her life. So the first 2 were right at her fingertips, and the third one was keeping her away from the first 2. So she made the decision to abort her first child, which I did not know. I had no clue about. And I know that must have, like, Keke Palmer's rendition of that was crazy. And the girls were behind her 100%. They was like, "You know what? We're gonna make that one count." And they damn sure made it count. So they got back into it and everything. And T-Boz was already telling Chili that Dallas was a hoe, and you know what I'm saying, now not to look, you know what I'm saying, being with him forever, and you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to let you know that he my friend, I know him. But she fell in love with the guy and had her, and then she had another baby by him. Now his name is Tron. He's a little cute little guy too. He looks like his dad and his mama, man. They both of them look just like both of them. But after that, you know what I'm saying, they finally make it big. Their Ain't Too Proud to Beg song hits the radio and hits it crazy. Then they get their first big tour date when they go on tour with MC Hammer, which was a success. You know what I'm saying? The Ain't Too Proud to Beg just went crazy, like that ooh on the TL tip. I think that's the name of their first album, if I'm not mistaken. They was just like, What About Your Friends and Ain't Too Proud to Beg, and had the condoms in the video. Like, when they did that video, Little Mama, like, seriously played the shit out of Left Eye in those scenes where you see the, like, I didn't know if that was the video, if that was real life. You know what I'm saying? It was like the way they was doing it back and forth. Sometimes you couldn't really tell. You know what I'm saying? then after they started making gold and then going platinum and shit, they weren't really making no money. And they kept wondering, like, we want to see, you know what I'm saying, the contracts and stuff like that. And then they was figuring out, like, they wasn't gonna let them see him. And then when they did see him, they was like, damn, you done took all my motherfucking money. They went to a lawyer that was Pebble's lawyer and was their lawyer. So it was a conflict of interest. Wasn't really looking after them. Then they found out what they were making, and then Pebbles was giving them cars and stuff, and they thought it was an upgrade. And then when they went to the award, motherfucker was like, damn, my mama got a better car than that. You know what I'm saying? Making them feel horrible. Then in the movie talks about Left Eye's drinking problems and stuff like that. She really had a huge drinking problem. It was really pushed. Like in the beginning, you could tell like she was just drinking, like non-stop drinking bad, like in the studio. But you could tell through how they did this that you could tell Left Eye was just so fun and bubbly and hard, and she just was a loving person. You could tell this, like, this is how Lil Mama portrayed it. But all in all, like, the beginning of them was a joyous time. And then on, we find out about T-Boz's sickle cell anemia. And Pebbles pissed me off. She was like, well, will she be ready for next week to get on tour and all? He was like, no, she gonna need some weeks to get, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know, sickle cell anemia, it fucks with your organs, and it makes you be in so much pain, like your skin hurts. Like, it's a hereditary disease, if I'm not mistaken, that's in African. It's really, really prevalent in African American women. So she was like, it had the ounce of a chance to have it, and T-Boz had been living with it for the longest, but none of the people really knew she had it until she had a outbreak on tour. And she was like laid out on the floor, and they didn't know what the hell was going on. Then we moved to and I forgot when I talked about Left Eye's dad dying. Left Eye's dad died the same day that she got a record deal. Like, she got the record deal and then went call home, and then her mom told her dad had passed. Like, that was so sad. Like, Left Eye went through so much pain. I think that's, well, evidently she was looking for herself at her end days. She was looking for who the hell she was, because she didn't know. But we're gonna talk about that. That's the end of the movie. But the middle of the movie is when it starts to get juicy and starts to get good. The CrazySexyCool album. This is, to me, hands down, this is their best album to date. It had the mix of the gritty and the mix of the sexy. It had a lot more T-Boz singing lead on this album. This was my all-time favorite R&B album from a girl group, or R&B album from the 90s period. Like, this is top 5, like probably top 3. CrazySexyCool album was just on point. They went a whole nother direction in the Ain't Too Proud to Bed. Their first album, Ooh, on the TLC tip. They went totally different. And it paid off. They went on tour and they made $10 million. And this is when they found out that they were fucking broke. Well, they went on like a hiatus, and they had to go file for bankruptcy. They had to do a lot of shit to get out of that situation with Pebbletone. And Pebbles was mad on Twitter talking shit. I was like, and she trying to sue them for slander. I'm like, how you gonna sue them for slander? And this is how they felt, and this is how they. This is the thing. I think she knew they were gonna say something about how she was in real life, and she didn't want that to be portrayed as her. But it's hard to look in the mirror and know who you are. So stop being a bitch and just know that you were a bitch back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You was a bitch. I mean, you was money hungry bitch. I mean, shit. They laid that shit out like fully. But you live and you learn, and you forgive and you forget. You know what I'm saying? Don't be mad and have hatred. She was on Twitter, and her son. And I'm like, how your son gonna talk about something you wasn't even there? You probably wasn't even thought about. But the CrazySexyCool tour happening. They was riding around with emergency emergency buses and shit like that. So just in case if T-Boz had an episode, there was ambulance right there. They made a lot of money. That was when they was winning Grammys. They won like 8 Grammys. And that was like the pinnacle of their career, CrazySexyCool. And also that was, to me, when Left Eye started to go downhill. She wanted more creative control. She wanted to talk about super galactic stuff and rap about things that she wanted to rap about, and it just wasn't the time at the moment. She wanted to do all of these different things, and she was getting, and then, oh, and when she burnt down the house, oh God, when she burnt down Andre Rison's house, she met Andre Rison in the club, went home with him, and didn't leave, and then came home one night. Andre Rison was in the house fucking this other girl, and he was just doing her dirty. And then she came in and had a whole bunch of shoes on the bed, and then she didn't see no size 4, and she went ham and went and put them shits in the tub and burnt the house down. Hot damn. I was like, I know they gonna show that. They gotta show it. And then yeah, they showed it. And her thinking behind it, like I just went ham. There was no size 4. I felt like no one was thinking about me. She burnt the goddamn house down. I remember that. I was a little girl when that happened. I was looking at the news like, what the hell? She done burnt the house down. And the exact words from the behind the music when Chili was like, girl, Lisa done burnt the house down. Hot damn. I was like, that bitch was mad as shit. She was mad as hell. There wasn't no size 4 on the bed. Alright, so her burning the house down, and then them going to look for her, and she was in the woods and disoriented, and they didn't let her go to jail, but she had to do all this other stuff to get out of that situation, and she just needed help. They made her go to a halfway house and made her get cleaned up from the drugs and stuff. And then she met a guy in her life named Larry, and he was telling her, oh, he was like bigging her head up, like, oh, you're the best in the group, and you be giving them ideas, and they using you, and basically filling her head up with bullshit. When when T-Boz and Chili were basically telling her, no, we're telling you we got to make this money, and they found a new lawyer that was for them and was going to make them some money. And when they went out on tour, and basically they made an album. That was Crazy Sexy Cool tour. Then they went on made the album Fan Mail, and Lisa had to agree to it, but she wanted to do her solo thing. She kept wanting to do solo albums. Solo, I want to do something for me. So they told her, do Fan Mail first, and then you can do that. She just wanted to do it in between, like them recording Fan Mail. It was just so important for her to be doing this, because she thought Master P and No Limit and who she signed to, I think they had so much beliefs in her and all this other stuff. And she was with Suge Knight label, all kinds of shit was going on with Lisa at that moment. Then this is when Lisa started to want to be a lot more spiritual. She started doing a lot of things when it comes to going to Honduras. This is her when she started going to Honduras, and she started wanting to find peace and find herself, and she always said she wanted to be one with the forest, jungle, animals, and she just wanted to be at peace. She went through so much pain as a woman, you know what I'm saying, as a child, and she just wanted peace for once, and that she found peace in Honduras. And this is where in the MTV video starts, and this is when we all know that the story gets sad, because we know evidently they are going to kill off Left Eye. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it happened in real life. She died in Honduras on a spiritual venture. But before that, she gets to, you know what I'm saying, do Fan Mail. Fan Mail was when No Scrubs came out. That was like the jam back in the day. No Scrub, like this whole biopic made me sing my ass off early in the morning. But she basically gets to get back in tune with everybody. They forgive her, and you know what I'm saying, she just has a big outrage, and she didn't know that Larry was married and all kinds of shit. Like, and they was like, if you was with your sisters, you would know this shit and all that type of stuff. But all in all, this is ultimately the end. This is when she goes to Honduras and starts to purify herself. Fan Mail was a fantastic album. This is when they dedicated all of their fans mail, and they made songs off of all of the mail that they received, which was so cool. It's a cool ass concept. And they made songs from the letters, so that was really, really cool. And you heard a lot from them. And also, the Don't Go Chasing Waterfall from Crazy Sexy Cool. Left Eye got that idea from Looking at a Rainbow. Like her rap, she got that from Looking at a Rainbow. The Unpretty song was came on fan mail. T-Boz wrote that song, and this is when her and her mother were going through the whole sickle cell anemia thing again, and she was starting to get beat up, and she was starting to get down again, and her mom told her, don't you ever give up. You know what I'm saying? So, the end of the movie, basically, Keke Palmer is done with Dallas Austin. They're just friends. She has Tron again, second baby, and T-Boz does something no one ever thought she would do, because with sickle cell you have a less chance of living till 30. They told her she could never have kids, and she finally got pregnant, and Left Eye was there to actually meet her daughter, which was a fantastic thing. At least T-Boz can have that moment where, you know what, you met your auntie. You know what I'm saying? She had a baby by Mac 10. If people don't know, Mac 10 was with I think he was with No Limit, if I'm not mistaken. He was with one of the regular labels back in the day. Mac 10, kind of real big dude, light skin. And then this is when Lisa went off to go purify herself. And ultimately, they didn't show the scene of her actually in the car accident, which I thought they were going to show, but they didn't show that. They lightened it up a little bit. She went down there for a second time, and then she got in a car accident and died. Then they showed the funeral scene, which is when I broke down in tears. Like, that was like a real tough scene. I think they could have showed a little bit more. And then the end of the movie, they did like where it was like 10 years later, and they kind of left it alone for a while, and they came back together. And then when Tion and T-Boz came back together, then the real Tion and T-Boz came on, and they did a song called Meant to Be. Meant to Be was a fantastic song to end this movie. They talk about their hardships, they talk about everything, and it was like, you know what, MTB. And they said that throughout the whole movie, Meant to Be. And I think that was like a rendition, like a shout out to Left Eye. They were like, you know what, this was meant to be, and we miss her, and all this kind of stuff. So, all in all, thumbs up to the TLC movie, Crazy Sexy Cool. I would suggest, if you haven't seen it, it's coming on, I think, Sunday at like 8 o'clock. And if you have a smartphone, just go to the VH1 app. They have the full movie on the app where you can watch it, just how I watched it. It was a great movie, great casting. Little Mama, Keke Palmer, Drew Sidora, all of them did a wonderful job. I know this video is long as hell, but like, I had to do a review of this movie. I feel like this was something that was needed, because all of us really, truly love TLC from the bottom of our hearts, through their music. We lived through their hardships. We lived through everything when it came to TLC. And I feel like they didn't owe us this, but it was just that time where they needed to come out and say, you know what, this was our life. This is what happened when y'all didn't know we were down and out. We were down and out, but we still we are the number one we are the number one group of all time. Like, I think they are, like, other than the Supremes, I feel like TLC was the best female group ever. That's Destiny Child and anybody you can think of female groups wise. I think TLC will hands down will be the best when we look back 20, 30, 40 years, which is their 20th anniversary of TLC, that they will be the all-time best. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to girl groups, they hands down, through all their hardships, the music is what counted. So anyways, this your girl Crunk Girl 711. Hopefully y'all like the movie. If y'all, I love this movie. I give it a 10 out of 10. This was fantastic. VH1, thank you for doing this. I actually went and purchased the 20th anniversary album, the soundtrack. And the new song Meant to Be was produced by Neo. It was just a fantastic situation and I'm glad that they wanted to share this with me and the fans and the people who didn't know what was going on. And yeah, man, I'm out. So if y'all haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie. I'm hollering at y'all.